Maddie with Close to My Heart. Today we're going to make a card using one ink technique I've already showed you and a new one. So we're going to start by inking up our stamp and stamping a pattern down on a piece of watercolor paper. I'm obsessed with these stamps from the Ornate Blooms. This is kind of like the lotus pattern. More. And then we're going to emboss this as well because we're going to use our aqua brush and we're going to paint in these images quickly. It's not going to be super detailed. I'm not a super detailed kind of girl. So now I'm going to emboss this with my heat gun. So I put my ink colors I wanted to use up on my acrylic block again, and I have pear, pomegranate, lagoon, peacock, and thistle. And then I also have my water brush. So I'm going to start with some leaves, and I'm just going to pick up some pear and go straight in. Remember, the embossing kind of helps you stay in the lines, but since we're not cutting this out, I'm going to do a little bit more careful of a job if you want it to look extra good. Just go and do all the same color at one time. Not the most masterful piece of artwork, but it's mine. So the next thing I want to try is making the sentiment, and we're going to try no line watercoloring. Okay, so for no line watercoloring, what you need is a stamp and a really light ink. So we're going to try this bamboo color because that's one of my lightest inks I have, and I'm going to ink up this older stamp that's one of my favorites ever, and it was from The Party Is On, and it was a Hostess Reward stamp, and it says Celebrate Today, and I was thinking pretty swell with that watercolored piece we just made. My stamp happens to be very stained, but that's okay. So we went into bamboo ink, and now we have that stamped down. It's pretty light. And I'm just gonna hit it with my heat gun. I don't need to, but I want to make sure it's super dry so I don't smear it. It's still absorbing into the paper. So I still have all my ink on it, and I'm gonna pick up some ink and see if I can make this work. Actually, I'm gonna smush some more pomegranate down because that's kind of lacking. Okay. We're gonna take our water brush again, and I think I'll try the pomegranate first, see if that works. And then you just go right over top of this with your brush and paint it in. There's probably easier stamps to do this with, but I tried to pick something kind of bold and thick. Alright, so now I want to put that on my card. I want to put these guys together. And I want to use some black cardstock to make those both. Okay, so I came back and with a top folding card that's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I cut a black piece of cardstock to mat it, and that's cut at 4 by 5 1/4. So we're going to go ahead and glue that down. Okay, we're going to take our watercolor extra glue on it because it's curling a little bit. Make sure I didn't spin that around too much. I like the way that looks, except for the fact it's a little crooked. So I trimmed this down and I cut a black piece of cardstock to mat it. That's a little crooked too. Okay. And I was thinking about putting it right in the center. I really kind of like the way it looks down in the bottom right hand corner too. Which one? Alright, right there, and it needs something, right? These are sequins from the Magical assortment, and since they have silver and black, I think that might look kind of cool. 2, 3. Oh, sometimes it doesn't pick up the little glue dot. There we go. 1, 2, 3. You know how I feel about sequins. I think 5 is a good number, and I kind of always do it in the same pattern. There we go. And that's it. 2 watercolor techniques in 1 card. Thanks for joining me.